Yo, welcome.
What is up?
Welcome to this week's episode of Throwing Bombs. We are here. What week are we now? Is this week 5?
This is week 5 of the NFL season.
Week 5. We don't need to be freaking out yet. Okay, NFL fans. There's warning signs.
Yeah.
Yes, there's warning signs. But we can start freaking out in about a month. Like, you can start getting mad about your team in about a month because I was talking with my dad yesterday because I was leaving the gym and my dad called me very upset about the Miami Dolphins performance. You know, Dad's sort of a casual fan. You know, he was yelling about the defense. I was like, Dad, the defense played great in our game. So if you didn't know, the Dolphins were ahead till the fourth quarter, 17-0. Okay.
Yep.
Tannehill then plays the worst quarter of football I have ever seen a quarterback play. Our defense played great. Our special teams played great. And then Laramie Tunsil, our number 1 draft pick left tackle, goes out with a concussion in the fourth quarter. Actually, third quarter. And there went our offense. Cincinnati teed off on us. And Tannehill, again, I'm going to repeat myself, played the worst quarter of football I've ever seen a Dolphins quarterback maybe play, except for maybe John Beck many, many years ago.
I feel your pain.
And
dude.
they lost the game. So
Yep.
I told the dad, I was like, I was mad. I was listening to all the games on the way back from South Carolina, and then I got home and was catching up on everything. And, you know, am I freaking out about the Dolphins? No, but I will say this. This is year 7 of watching Tannehill.
Is it really?
Yeah, 7 years.
Golly.
And his record's average. His record, you know, old Parcells used to say your record is what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's famous for a lot of those one-liners.
Yeah.
But, I've always there's a journalist in Miami, Omar Kelly. I really like him, and he's always more balanced. He's like, hey, O-line was bad, Tannehill was bad, right?
Yep.
I get it. I totally get it. But he's always said that the skill ceiling for Tannehill is going to be Alex Smith, and he's just not that. And I'm not sure. I'm not saying it's done with him. I do think if he does not make the playoffs this season, if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs this season, I think Gase gets one more year, and I think Tannehill is gone. That is my opinion. I think we will probably draft, quarterbacks. I just again I was totally bummed out. But you know what? The Bengals are 4-1. They're playing great. They ended the season last year.
Down.
They ended up playing the season last year. They ended up playing great. So, am I freaking out yet? No. Couple of weeks, I may have a very different attitude about my Fins. But overall, another great weekend of really, really good games. The Rams got tested against the Seahawks. I mean, they got punched in the mouth.
Dude, I know.
In the same play, they lost 2 of their wide receivers. Did you see that play?
Yes, I did.
Both of those guys out. I mean, Seahawks came to play, man, but Gurley, all those guys, man, they showed out. So,
I want to talk about the Ravens game.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So
let me.
I watched that. I watched
the
fourth quarter and the overtime.
Let me just say, the Browns were a good team this year.
Was that it was at the Browns,
yes.
right? And the Browns defense is no joke.
No, they're not.
We've been saying this all season.
The Browns are a good team this year. The Ravens had a historic, didn't know if you knew this, 12 for 12 in the red zone until this game.
Oh.
Or actually, they started out 12 for 12, which is ridiculous. Like, no one's ever done that. It's like maybe 6 for 6 before.
And then they got into this game.
And they haven't scored a touchdown in 7 quarters now. The Browns...
Same thing with the Dolphins for the last 2 games.
Right. The Browns' defense was really good. Flacco was he was forcing a lot of passes, which is, it's fine until play calling becomes an issue. John Harbaugh chose to let him pass instead of run the ball, and
Did
it was an
Lamar
interception.
Jackson get in at all in
Yeah,
that
he
game?
played like he passed like 5 times, I think.
Nothing major.
No, I mean no. They should have ran like an option bootleg.
I mean, they were dead.
On the 1 yard
That
line.
last the overtime that I watched, they were both teams were dead.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
literally dead, and Mayfield makes a huge play there at the end. Then that kicker barely makes the kick.
No, like dinks in.
I mean, you had Mason Crosby this week miss
Oh my
5 field
gosh.
goals. I mean, if you're a kicker in the NFL,
Your job is very, very loosely bound.
It's not good. And I mean, again, I hate that win came against your Ravens. At the same time, I'm glad.
I'm glad
for
for the Browns. I am.
But y'all still number one in your division, correct?
No, 2
Who's number one now?
Bengals because you guys
Because
blew it.
4-1. Yeah. 4-1.
So
I mean, dude, and I got Andy Dalton made some throws. He made some big boy throws in that game too.
he can make all the big boy throws he wants to, but when it comes to the playoff time, he sucks. So
Yeah, that's always been his thing.
I mean,
Yep.
I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like kind of like
It's gonna be them and the Ravens this year.
Here
I
mi-
think in
here
that
reminds
division.
me of-
and Big Ben knocking on the door.
Andy Dalton reminds me of. This is a very strange comparison, but hear me out. A poor man's Peyton Manning because he does not perform in the playoffs.
Well,
He
Peyton
puts up
Manning, his
numbers.
First, how many years in the league? He didn't win a playoff game until Tony Dungy
That's what I'm saying.
coached him, right?
I think Andy Dalton needs
Which
a new
was-
coach.
And when Tony Dungy got in his life and started, they run in that Tampa 2 in Indy, right? He brought the Tampa 2,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden they started winning playoff games.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, Andy Dalton puts up numbers in the regular season. He gets to the playoffs. They lose every game. It's not all of his fault, though.
No.
I think if they had a different head coach, they'd be
I think
contenders
you could say
every
that now.
year.
But the thing is with her, what's his name? Edwards?
Marvin Lewis.
Marvin Lewis. God.
13 years without a playoff win? Really?
I know, man, but if it's hard for people to remember how bad they were for so many years until he got there.
Right, but
And then he literally turned them over. I mean, he really did make them, really competitive. And I think the ownership of that team is really weird.
they're trying not to let him
It's,
go.
it's a weird family.
If
And they have a good relationship with him, and I think they're scared to bring in another coach because they do crazy stuff. They make the players like pay for their clothes.
Yep.
They pay for their socks. They pay. It's crazy what the Brown family
Or I mean,
does.
yeah.
Yeah. They're weird. They're just a weird family. Even though they have all this history in the NFL, there's just some weird stuff that the franchise does. And
I'm
I think
just-
they're just worried about bringing in another coach.
I'm just saying, Marvin Lewis, every Bengal team in the playoffs, there's always either a lack of discipline or a lack of play
I mean, they
calling.
got beat by the Texans one year.
Man,
That's
they got beat by the
embarrassing.
Texans. They had that Pittsburgh game won, and
Oh.
Vontaze Burfict and Adam Jones committed penalties. That's a
Cost
discipline
them that
issue.
game,
That's
yep.
a discipline issue.
Perfect still playing.
Yeah, but he's suspended every year. I mean,
Yeah,
really?
it happens
They
all the
need-
time. So that division, I'm still pulling for your Ravens. I
Thank
still
you.
think your Ravens will do it
I think
because I just expect the Bengals. Again, we still have a few weeks before we start seeing what things are going to look like. So what's
Oh, and the Ravens, similar to your Dolphins, if they don't make the playoffs this year, John Harbaugh's last year is next year.
and probably Flacco.
And Flacco is done.
Yeah, I would take Flacco.
I would.
I would take Flacco.
He has one more year left.
Yeah, I would take him.
if they make the playoffs. If they don't,
Because you just gave me an idea because I was thinking about quarterbacks available for next year. But that's another discussion for another podcast. Go ahead. What's
all right.
next?
We will start from the top. Thursday night game because
What was
you
our
know.
Thursday night game?
it was the Colts and the Patriots. Tom
Oh,
Brady,
yeah. Yeah, Tom Brady
500th
owned 'em.
touchdown. Josh Gordon.
Andrew
catching that.
Luck. They kissed Andrew Luck's butt the whole game. It was trash yardage the last half of that game.
I mean, he
It's
still.
just-
I mean,
he-
he still
he
made
played
good
great.
passes. I mean, he's the only thing
It's
that's
trash
good.
yardage, yeah.
On the.
Let's just say now, Tom, the team's back, right? Patriots are back. I think they're going to probably win 10 straight. I don't know. They got the Chiefs this coming week.
I don't think they're going to win that game.
That is
I'm
going to
serious.
be. I want to see what Belichick does to Mahomes.
Yep.
Because Mahomes played Denver Broncos, who prior to this past week, I would have said the defense is good. I think their coach has lost the team. Personally, I think that coach will be
Vance.
fired. Yeah,
Yep.
I think he's going to get or fired. But he played the Broncos, who I thought at the time had a pretty stout defense, and then he goes against the Jaguars, and then and that was a fiasco. Okay, go ahead.
Tennessee losing to Buffalo. You know
Shameful.
how strange
Shameful.
that is?
Shameful, and that's a game that Mariota needs to win. Period.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yep. Panthers beating the Giants. 63-yard field goal.
Good no.
Man, he may not be very accurate sometimes, but
No,
he has a leg.
I have a personal friend that is very close to him.
Really?
Yeah, and he's been a mountain burrito, by the way.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So it's awesome. I'm glad for Gano. I'm glad for the Panthers. They're going to be a more blue collar team this year with Norv Turner
Yep.
calling the plays. I'm telling you, that kid McCaffrey's going to have 8 billion yards this year.
Dude, he's killer.
Yeah, he's going to have a Pro Bowl year.
He reminds me of Marshall Faulk back in
The
Rams days where he was catching passes
on the turf. Greatest
and-
show on turf days.
Yes, he was catching passes
offense.
and running for. He'd catch 100 yards.
That was one of
and
that
run for
Rams
100 yards.
offense was unique.
Yeah.
Mike Martz was nuts.
Yeah. So, all right. The Chiefs whooping the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. The Jags defense, Jalen Ramsey talked trash, right?
I can't stand
Right
him.
about Tyreek Hill, right? He
Yep.
was like, Tyreek's is a special team player.
And
I'm
then
a
Tyreek
corner."
scores like what, 2 touchdowns?
and burns him on a 30-yard run,
love it.
and on a 30-yard pass. But okay, that's the problem with the Jaguars. When they get down, they don't have Fournette. They don't have
They
the
don't have
offense.
firepower.
Again, Bortles was doo-doo. Mahomes got
Surprise.
tested. Won again. Threw a pick. He threw a
He threw
pick.
2 picks.
And
but-
bad weather.
Yes, and he also ran it in though. I
Yeah,
mean,
bad
he was-
weather. And we're starting to see defenses adjust to them. That's what's going to happen in the NFL.
Right.
He's about to see it again with the Patriots.
Right.
So I'm still pulling for them. I read a stat this week that every Andy Reid team that has started 5-0 has never won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Something just
They
crazy
fizzle
stat.
out.
Yeah, it sucks. So I'm hoping Mahomes gets him past that.
Okay. Next game, Mason Crosby losing the game for the Packers.
I mean, okay.
Man, he had 9 points. 12 points left on the table.
Talk about coaches who are going to lose their job. I
He's
think
not
Mike
losing his
McCarthy. Oh, dude, there's every week
They talk about it every year, though.
They do these. Him and Aaron Rodgers have these little passive aggressive arguments
Shots at each
in the press.
Yeah.
They do. There's these little. It's like dealing with a 4-year-old kid, And I don't think Aaron Rodgers believes in Mike McCarthy at all.
I wouldn't.
When you got your kicker missing 5 kicks, and I mean, granted, Detroit is Detroit, right? We don't know what we have because I'm impressed that Matt Patricia's got these guys playing. I really am because, man, every game I've seen them in, they have just looked putrid.
Yep.
They haven't looked great. It looks like he's really changing the balance of running and passing with that team, I've noticed. They're asking less of Matt Stafford. That's what I've noticed about that team. So hopefully good for them, man. Good for Matt Patricia. I hope he actually has a positive win-loss record because as of now, the Belichick tree has been awful.
Yeah.
So-
Patricia will go 6-10 this year.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah, call it. Yeah.
Broncos getting smacked
Wow.
by the Jets.
That's another coach on the hot seat.
That's another quarterback on the hot seat
Well,
already.
talk about polar opposites in a month. You got Kirk Cousins showing out now, right?
And Case Keenum.
And Casey Keenum going the opposite direction.
It's just sad.
And so how much of that? Okay, you have to ask yourself though, guys. Like
How much of it is a system?
Yes, you have a quarterback that left the Vikings with unbelievable talent.
Yep.
Right? That offense has unbelievable talent. You put him on the Broncos, and now he's just a guy. He's a jag,
And
right?
Honestly, if you did the same thing with Kirk Cousins, wouldn't be much of a difference.
Exactly,
It wouldn't.
because of the system.
Exactly.
And they just don't have They just don't have the support there. And Denver was banking on that defense to be better than they are. They got shredded for 300 plus yards on the ground.
That's crazy.
How somebody gets coordinators get fired for that?
Yeah.
Right? Coordinators get fired.
Pass yards is
John
one
Elway.
thing.
John Elway flat out said it last year. He was thinking about firing the coach there. He had to sleep on it overnight, and then he changed his mind. Something changed his mind, and you know what it is. You know why? Because think about it. Who do you could get to replace him as a coach?
Yeah, really.
Who's out there right now? Nobody's talking about coaches, right? Just like quarterbacks, we don't know. The press starts talking about it, and you start hearing hints. But John Elway, always considered a great GM, but sometimes these guys make moves, and I'm like, guys, I just don't. I do have a prediction. I've said this for a couple of years. I've always felt Tannehill would fit better with the Broncos, with what the Broncos want to do. The Broncos want to play good defense.
And
they want to run the ball.
Yep.
And Tannehill would fit that style better.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if they go through the draft again and then they maybe somehow work out a trade with the Dolphins, because I think that would be a team Tannehill I think would do okay with. But anyway.
Yeah, my Uncle Wade was like, because he's in town this week.
You tell him I said hey.
I will. I'm shouting him out, I guess.
All right.
He was like, tell me why the Vikings really didn't sign Case Keenum again. Because they had such a good chemistry and they went that far. I was like, well, I mean, to be fair, Case Keenum is what? How old is he?
Well, they didn't want to pay him.
That also. And the other thing is, if you look at Kirk Cousins and Case Keenum comparatively.
Statistically, it doesn't compare. Like Cousins is
exactly,
statistically
and
a better
he's a more talented quarterback. I will say Case Keenum is also very talented, but Kirk Cousins has a higher ceiling.
Yes, he does.
He has not hit his prime yet either.
And dude, Stephon Diggs is showing out.
And wait, whoa,
Yeah.
Adam Thielen,
Doing
you
great.
cannot.
Yeah. But Stephon Diggs, man, after the catch right now in the NFL, he's one of the best wide receivers. Like, once he gets the ball. And so, again, in a couple of weeks, we're going to start seeing how that division is shaping up. But listen, they're in the thick of it. So
Adam Thielen, 5 straight games, 100-plus yards receiving.
Yeah, he's good.
I mean,
and he's a good story.
No one knows about him.
Yeah, good story.
Speaking of dumpster fires, Atlanta Falcons.
Wow. So talk about other guys on the hot seat there. We talked about this last week. There's no excuse for that. There's just, Big Ben's Big Ben.
They
got their points.
I had faith in the Falcons because, sometimes they usually bounce back from, like, tough losses.
This is a different team, man.
This is
a different
confusing.
team. And Connor, the running back for the Steelers, got going.
It just has to make Mike Tomlin go, okay, I'm kind of glad that
Oh, they're trading Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon's trying to report week 8.
We've talked about Le'Veon every week. The last rumor I heard that they were going to trade him, Arizona was interested in him. They were going to trade David Johnson, which is I would take David Johnson. I love
dumb.
David Johnson. David Johnson is a good dude.
I don't understand. David Johnson actually is more comparable to Marshall Faulk because when Carson Palmer was the quarterback, he was averaging like 1,600 yards rushing and 800 receiving yards or something ridiculous like that.
And also, Bruce Arians is a very good offensive.
And this is not the same.
No, man. That staff, Arizona, I hate, man. They're just, it's not good there. Probably good for David Johnson to get the crap out of there. Period.
Yeah.
Just get out of there. Go to Seattle.
Go
my God. If he goes to Seattle, if he went to Seattle,
he would be Russell Wilson's best friend.
Because you know what? They're not that far. They're just young. Seattle's just young. So,
yep.
All right, let's go.
All right, the Chargers beating up on the Raiders. Really? I was not surprised.
Okay. Chargers. Listen, Chargers. Let's talk in December and see how the Chargers are.
They either
Raiders,
have a collapse or a massive comeback. You know how it is.
We'll see how it goes.
They either go like 8-2, and then they fizzle out.
I think Raiders are going to be lucky to win 6 games this year.
Oh yeah. All right, next game, Vikings narrowly beating the Eagles.
Yeah.
I wanted Carson Wentz.
This is more about the Eagles.
This is how the Eagles are playing poorly instead of how the Vikings are playing well.
And let's talk about how hard it is for teams to repeat after winning the Super Bowl.
They won't make the playoffs,
This
I don't
is
think.
this is what makes a team like the Patriots so special. You know, it really does.
It would be different.
As much as it hurts me to say that.
It would be different if Carson Wentz didn't suffer the ACL injury.
Yeah,
They
I
would
agree.
they would probably be 4-1 right now.
But Ajayi's out. He's done. ACL.
Jai's out. They're looking at they could possibly go trade for LaShawn
LaShawn,
McCoy.
I saw that.
I would love to see
Third
that.
round, I think. Third, fourth round.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll
LaShawn
get a third
McCoy's
round.
not getting used over there at Buffalo. They're like,
No, that's
know.
another one. I think he'd be
He
probably
just
happy to go
turned
back.
30.
Yeah,
He has a good 2-3 years
that's
of
about
running.
it. That's about it. But listen, it tells you how hard it is for teams to turn it around. I still think they can turn it around.
True. Okay, I got this one right. The Cardinals winning over the 49ers.
That was
I was
great.
like, yeah.
The battle of the losers. I have nothing to say about that
If
game.
Jimmy G was healthy, 49ers
outcome,
would also
yeah.
would probably
Different
be
game.
3-2.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Different game. Different game. Yeah.
Josh Rosen played awful, but it's okay. 'Cause they won.
I literally paid 30 seconds attention to that game.
All right. We talked about the Rams and Seahawks already.
Yeah.
Rams, I'm starting to get a little worried
About what?
because of the Saints.
Oh, yeah. Well,
The
you're
Saints
right,
will
you're
come
right.
marching in
Yeah.
on that defense and probably tear it to bits.
I got you.
That offense is. We'll talk
Yeah.
about the Saints in a second. All right. The Sunday night game. Pick this one right. The Texans beating the Cowboys.
Yeah, the battle for Texas.
I'm losing faith in the Cowboys. Also,
That's another coach
Jay-
on the hot seat.
What is his name? Garrett.
Yeah, that's another coach on the hot seat, and then you've got Jerry Jones.
What was with the 4th-and-1 punt though?
I know, and then you had Jerry Jones saying that the team hasn't had a true number one wide receiver in X amount of years.
What about Des Bryant?
Jason Witten, bro. Jason Witten was.
I mean,
their
you
number
can
one wide receiver.
you can say that.
That's a period. Period. That team. Listen, they're struggling. They're. I've said this almost every week. They just got to establish the running game. It's.
I don't know why you don't believe in your top running back. When
I
he's
don't.
Top 3.
I don't get it, man. It's tough. I will say the linebacker kid they took a chance on a couple of years ago with the knee injury.
Yeah.
What's his last name? Man, it's Smith. I think that was his name.
He came from like UCLA. I think
He was awesome.
Yeah.
He looked friggin' amazing.
Oh, dude.
He was all over the field. So it's not all negative for the Cowboys.
No, they have-
I really like that linebacker. I can't remember his name, but I just know he had a really bad knee injury in a bowl game.
Yep. And he
then
sat
had
out the
to
whole
sit out
season last year, but
and
he's
then
back.
They've eased him in, and man, he was all speed wise. It looked like he hadn't lost a step.
The Cowboys have kind of flushed out their older talent and replaced it with young guys that are trying to mature, you know. So I could see maybe in 2 years them coming back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So, all right, Monday night game. Man, shout out to John. I told John, listen, man, if you're saying every time your Saints like win and are like winning really good, I will shout you out because you deserve it. Because the Saints are ridiculous this year, and if they get beat really badly, I'll shout you out too. Because like, oh, John, I'm so sorry.
Well, okay.
But-
yeah, I watched
Man,
a lot of that game last night.
Drew Brees is looking like he's just like
That was
ageless.
a special moment, man. That play that he broke the record on was spectacular. Busted covers. Josh Norman was like,
Dude, did you see
I don't know where-
the exchange after the
he
game?
got benched.
where-
He got benched for a play. Did you
yeah,
see that?
Yeah, because Michael Thomas kept cooking him.
Yeah.
He didn't even get a lot of yards.
A lot of drama there. But you know what? Again, you see this happen in games. I saw it happen with Favre and even Peyton Manning. When there's like records broken, it's like the teams rally around that player, and it's almost impossible to beat those teams. And that's what happened yesterday. Like, that team wanted that record for Drew Brees. I mean, I think the team wanted it more for him than he wanted it. I mean,
Yep.
did you see them celebrate after that?
Oh, I know.
mean, the team, like, the whole sideline ran out. The coach hugged him. It was really awesome to see what he did. I love Drew Brees and his crazy hairline. I really do. Of course, they brought up the Dolphins
I
trade.
mean-
You know how Nick Saban.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, if Nick Saban would have coached Alabama. By the way, I still think Nick Saban would have ended up in Alabama anyway if he had gotten Drew Brees or not. You know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Drew Brees is probably like the most underrated Hall of Famer. right now.
I mean, you know what? And he's had a great career because he came
Always
in with Marty.
consistent.
He came in with Marty Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
Who was, he just ground and pound, right?
Mm-hmm.
His offenses were not dynamic.
He took over for Doug Flutie, right,
Yeah.
with the Chargers.
Yeah, and
then,
actually played well.
and then went to the Saints.
Got hurt, got traded when they drafted, they drafted Phillip Rivers,
Yep.
right? And this is when NFL offenses started opening up a lot more, right? This
Right.
is around that time period. And then their coach, Sean Payton, he was always considered a more offensive-minded guy, but he was always with Parcells, right?
Right.
And Parcells was super conservative with him, Mm-hmm. So when Sean Payton got his own team, man, that offense has always been potent, but man, they just seem to get better and better. Again, they're in the division with the Panthers, who in a way is the exact opposite of them in the way they play football, So
Right.
those are going to be interesting games to watch the Saints and the Panthers play. For sure. Those should be great games,
Right.
you
Well, yeah. Drew Brees, living legend, first ballot Hall of Famer, guaranteed.
For sure.
All right, let's go ahead and pick our games for the
Pull
next
up my app,
week.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it on the weekly pick'em, so it's the same thing. Do you want to check and see who has came in, like, I guess first or
I am
whatever?
pulling it up right now.
I don't even know how to check that.
Boom,
Groups.
boom, boom. I'm
Okay.
doing it right now. Oh, I'm still ahead by like 10.
10?
Yeah, 10 points, according to this.
Oh, so you have how many points? 170?
170.
I also have 180, actually, because I didn't pick
Yeah,
2
we should
weeks.
be tied then. Okay, so here we go. Go ahead and start.
Oh, mine's...
Eagles, Giants.
Is it at home?
So that's the Giants,
For who?
I think.
Okay. Oh, gosh. I'm going to choose the Eagles.
That's the Thursday night game, by the way. So Sunday we have, I'm guessing the home team is on the right, Gage?
I would assume so, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go Buccaneers at Falcons. I mean, God, that's you got a 2-2 and a 1-4 team.
I'm gonna pick the Falcons because I mean Jameis Winston's not showing out.
I got you. And we got Steelers against the Bengals. Yow! That'll be a good game.
I hate the Steelers. Honestly, I just don't like anyone there. But in terms of keeping the division close,
Okay.
I'm gonna pick the Steelers.
Chargers, Browns.
Browns.
Yep, me too. Bills, Texans.
I'm gonna choose the. God, that's actually a hard game to choose. Probably Texans.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Bears and Dolphins.
Oh man, I'm gonna pick the Bears, dude.
Yeah, because I'm telling you now, our O-line, we are on backups.
If
on
Tunsil's
backups.
out this week, then
He's in the concussion protocol.
He's out, okay.
So we have no clue. We don't know. I don't know anything on that. Okay, Cardinals versus Vikings.
I really want to pull for the Cardinals. Like, just
Dude, they are not going to win that
I
game.
don't care.
Gage,
I mean,
they're not going to win that game.
you said that about last week, and I got it right. Okay, So-
I don't think they're
but
going to
I am gonna pick the Vikings.
I don't think they're going to win this game.
Colts and Jets. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick Colts.
What? I'm going to go with Jets.
Andrew Luck, dude.
Picking the AFC East there. Seahawks and Raiders.
Seahawks.
I'm going to go with the Raiders. I know this is a stupid, but I'm thinking Marshawn Lynch is going to have fun against his old team.
Yeah.
We got Panthers at the Skins.
Panthers.
That'll be a good. Oh boy.
I'm Panthers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Panthers too.
LA
we got
Rams.
Rams at Broncos.
LA Rams.
Yep. We got Jags at Cowboys. I'm going to go Cowboys.
Yeah, I was about to
I am.
say.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cowboys. I think, again, listen,
When you have to pull in Jamal Charles off
Yeah.
of his couch to start at running back.
Jags, I think the Cowboys defense brings it. I think they're going to run the ball at home. Zeke always shows out at home. So we got Ravens at Titans.
Man, that's so hard because I like both those teams. I'm gonna pick Ravens though.
Yeah, Titans, man. Mariota should have won this game last week. It makes me mad. Here we go. Chiefs at Patriots.
Chiefs. You can pick Patriots,
I'm
dude.
gonna pick the Patriots. I'm picking the Patriots. It hurts my soul to do that. Okay,
Man,
my soul is broken.
What a crap game to end off on.
I know. Oh yeah, 49ers at Packers. I'm picking the Packers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So where's
Picking the Packers with them going for 2 every time. Every time.
Where's the Monday night game at?
They're gonna go for every 4th down.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah, the Monday night game is the 49ers and the Packers.
Okay.
That was supposed to be a much better game. I think when the NFL scheduled it, they
They're
were
like, oh, Jimmy G versus
Yeah!
Aaron Rodgers, and they're like,
Now
oh,
it's like,
CJ Redhead versus Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, I think the NFL had more better plan than that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, I mean, half the stuff is kind of tanked too. All right, we'll go over some NFL news.
I mean, you got the left tackle from the Giants got traded. Or no, he got released. Eric Flowers.
Yeah, it was either someone come get him from us or we'll release him.
Yeah, well, nobody's going to trade him because they don't want to carry his. They'll have to guarantee his contract. So he's
Right.
probably. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins try to get him as a backup.
Yeah.
It's an expensive backup, but it's a lease at this point.
Here's a fun fact for you. Last week, 2 weeks ago, technically, week 4, all the rookies went 0-4. This week, they went 4-0 for the first time ever.
That's awesome.
First time ever.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I still think we're talking rookie QBs, right?
We're gonna.
Like we're talking rookie quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
I think. I mean, by far,
Mayfield's on
Mayfield
top,
by
dude.
far is the only one
And
that's.
then
I mean, Darnold, man.
Mayfield, Darnold.
And then the last two are just at the bottom right now. I don't even know what I'm watching with the Buffalo Bills guy right now.
Josh Allen is not shown.
Yeah, Rosen at Cardinals, right?
Rosen's. Man, I'd have to put Rosen at 3, I guess, because
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So, I mean, Mayfield by far. Mayfield, everybody forgets, we're used to these guys coming in and just showing out like Mahomes. Technically, this is Mahomes' first year, if you really think about it.
Yeah, because
okay?
he only played
Yeah.
one game the year before,
Yeah.
so.
Typically rookie quarterbacks struggle. The game is very different, even though the game has borrowed a lot of offensive concepts from the college game. Did you read that quote from Tom Brady this week talking about the Chiefs and Mahomes? He basically says that, hey, when I entered the league, the NFL was very different. Offensive style was very different. Mm-hmm. He said that nowadays offense, and he's right, NFL offenses borrow a lot of concepts from the college game, and you got rookies coming into the league being able to grasp that a little faster.
Right.
He said that in reference to Mahomes. To compare them is not fair because it's a decade now, over a decade.
Right.
But
We're going to touch upon real quick that New York Jets thing. Isaiah Crowell.
oh yeah, he ran for 350.
15 attempts for 219 yards.
Yeah.
And then they got their backup in there running 20 times for 100 yards.
Yeah, they rushed for 350 yards. Yeah, like again, when you do that against the NFL defense, somebody's going to get fired.
Yeah.
Right? Or should be. I mean, the Dolphins released some dude, Jordan Phillips last week. They do this every year. We lose a game badly. They release somebody. Well, there's nobody to release this week. I don't know. I don't get what teams are trying to do there. They just, we're starting to see, the average teams become average,
Right.
That's what we're saying.
I mean, who's man, TJ Watt's still killing it, dude, though.
Yeah, for the Steelers,
Yeah.
the defensive end.
Because I'm looking at like different leaders for this last week. TJ Watt had 3 sacks.
He played great.
Man, I don't care about punters at all.
No. Well,
DeAndre Hopkins lighting it up though.
Yeah, he played great too.
Um,
Oh, well, we can talk about, that quarterback, Texans quarterback played.
Deshaun.
Yeah, he's taking hits, like crazy
He
hits,
is,
man.
but-
He's doing stuff that he should not be doing with his body. He's not as big as Cam.
No.
He needs to be careful.
Yeah. I still think DeAndre Hopkins is a very underrated receiver though.
Well, that's just because the team he's on and the market
Him?
he's on.
and Michael Thomas for the Saints. Did you know
Yeah.
he holds the record for the his first 2 years, the most receptions in history?
Yeah, man. Well,
And then this year he had 38 receptions in 3 weeks.
think about the wide receivers that Peyton Manning had early in his career.
Yeah.
Tom Brady up until the last couple of years, has had unbelievable wide receivers, right? He did. His first 5 or 10 years in the
Manning
league,
had,
he had legends. I mean, he had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison.
I would put Marvin Harrison above
I mean,
Reggie
he had some great legends
Yeah.
he was playing with. You can't say that about Breeze until the last couple
You
of
really
years.
can't. I mean, who's the most notable one he's had? Marcus Colston?
Maybe. And the guys he won his Super Bowl championship with,
Was Marcus Colston?
yeah, like
And
those were
Jimmy
Graham.
Jimmy Graham. I will
That
give
was
Jimmy Graham.
Those were the best years Jimmy Graham had.
Yeah.
Period. So, but so really, what I'm excited about for next week, and what we're going to talk about next week is really that Chiefs and Patriots game.
Dude, that game.
It's going to be great because I want to see what Belichick's defense is going to do to Mahomes. Like, I want to see how
badly that defense of the Patriots is going to look.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, the Chiefs' defense looked great. Mm-hmm. Looked really good. Again, surprised by that, but they played really good.
And honestly, the Patriots defense,
They're bend but don't break.
Yeah, they didn't allow a whole lot of scoring against the Colts. But Andrew Luck put a lot of yards and a lot of
Andrew Luck. Again, those teams are just not great defensive teams. That's the scheme, the way it's been the last couple of years. They depend on Tom Brady to score more than 27 points.
Yep.
That's it.
And
they score 27 points, they're going to win those games.
Right. And again, reiterate, Saints are for real.
Yeah. I like what I'm watching.
Super Bowl bound.
Man, well, they're going to have to get through the Panthers, bro.
The Panthers?
Yeah,
they have to get through the Rams.
And that division.
I'm not concerned about the
They
Panthers.
got to win their division first. Let's talk about winning your division first, right? You got the Cowboys, you got the Skins. That division's wide open.
Kind of crap because
it doesn't matter though. Like, as long as you got a chance to win your division, you got a shot.
I believe the Skins are in the lead.
Yes, they are.
They're 2
barely
and 2 and
yeah,
1?
barely. Yeah, Skins are still in the lead
3-2.
in that division, and the Dolphins are 3-2. Okay, I'm not freaking out yet. It's just
technically, Patriots are up just because they beat the Dolphins.
Yes, and it just hurts that, like, I'm expecting more from my quarterback as a Dolphins fan than I'm seeing. And he knows it. He even took the blame in the press conference, man. He took the blame. He's like, I cost us that game in the fourth quarter.
Michael Crabtree.
Yeah, man. It's just bad.
That just gave me flashbacks to the Ravens game where he dropped a wide open pass into the end zone.
It's just, but the guys take the blame for it, man. The guys take the blame for it. It's just, I'm just wondering, as a coach, like Gase, I've watched enough Adam Gase's conferences to sort of know what he uses the same terminology every game. Especially when it comes to losing. He's super dedicated to his quarterbacks. He was dedicated to Cutler last year. Benched Cutler, even though he really didn't want to. Threw in other back. I mean,
Moore, right?
It didn't matter. Like, honestly, it didn't matter last season what he did. He was just trying to kickstart something.
I forgot Cutler played last year.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I do remember the one play that he had to do like some weird wildcat thing, and he was a receiver, and he just kind of stood there.
Yeah, that's the
whole
best
time.
thing about Jay Cutler were their smoking memes. His memes with the
Smoking
cigarettes.
Jay.
Yeah, it's the best. But again, it's tough as a fan to watch your team give up a game like that, or
Mm-hmm.
But my interest over the years has veered from just purely Dolphins to watching players develop on other teams.
Yeah,
I love watching teams play. It doesn't matter if it's the Panthers, if it's the Saints. I'm going to enjoy it, and it's always fun.
Yeah.
But really, in the next month and a half in the next 4 weeks is when we should be freaking out.
That midpoint where everyone's kind of like 4-4, or hypothetically, that's the point. But
yeah, it's the S word to get off the pot.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do. Well, listen, we better wrap things up. We're going to wrap this up a little early this week, but I want to give a shout out to Jimmy Atkins, his wife. They had their baby, I think today. Baby Rowe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so congratulations to you, Jimmy. Check out his company, RuddyManBeardProducts.com. Check out BombhousePodcast.com. You know what? I was looking at the statistics today because we post everything to our SoundCloud. Our SoundCloud's growing tremendously.
Really?
Yeah, I really do appreciate that. It's going to be awesome. I can see us within a couple of months hitting the top 50, I think, in the podcast.
No way.
Yeah, I do.
Wow, that's crazy,
Yeah, I do.
man.
I can if the numbers keep on going up the way I think they will be. I think so. It's pretty cool to see that happen because SoundCloud is not known as this huge podcasting
thing.
place, but it's really the most flexible for us to put it.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to put it on every platform. So and again, we don't do this for money. We don't do this for anything other than just for fun.
We love the game of football, and we like to talk about it.
Exactly. So we do appreciate everybody. Don't forget to join our weekly NFL pickup. The links are on our Facebook page, Welcome to the Bombhouse Podcast, or you can check, I think, episode 5, has the link, or episode 4 has the link to it. Just go join us. It's free, and have fun with us. We've already got a couple of teams with us. I love looking at them. Love having you guys join us. All right, everybody have a good week. Good night.
Finish the session today. He gon' hit you with the mix tomorrow. Produce, record, mix, master it. Sounding so dope that it gets your pass a little hit after hit after hit after hit. Hit after hit. Lickety split. What's that smell? Apple cinnamon. Ready man, big.